Many Ghanaians ask this popular question: why is it that when a Nigerian commits an offense in Nigeria, they always run to Ghana as their hiding place? This is the story of a 26-year-old Nigerian man who killed a woman and her daughter in Nigeria and fled to Ghana. 5 days after, he was captured by the Ghanaian police and is on his way back to Nigeria to, enjoy his jail terms. But so many Ghanaians are asking this question: why is it that the set of Nigerians that come into our country are the ones that are always coming in to perpetrate crimes? I'll be telling you why that happens in this video. And I hope when I tell you, you will not drag me like I better pass my neighbor generator in the comment section. I want us to watch people's reactions. How are people reacting to this? And then we come back. I'm Delicious Army. Yeah, I talk Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, and all the good stuff relating to them. Kindly like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Inform you about an arrest of a Nigerian man suspected to have killed a woman and her daughter in Nigeria and ran to hide in Ghana to avoid the Nigerian police from arresting him. Suspect Victor Benjamin Fujunmi Kum, 26 years, was arrested based on an interception of a viral video, which it was being alleged that he has adopted and murdered a lady who works with the Road Safety Corps, that is FRSC, and her daughter in Abeokuta, Ogun State in Nigeria. The suspect was wanted by the Nigerian police, but he ran to Ghana to hide with his friends at Achim Wenchi, a suburb of Ethiopia. The Eastern South Regional Police Command, on receipt of the information that the suspect was hiding in his friend's house at Akwetia, quickly deployed an intelligence-led operations to arrest the suspect in his hideout at Achimwenchi in the Eastern region. The suspect is currently in police custody as frantic efforts are underway to hand him over to the Nigerian authorities. Further updates will be communicated, please. On this note, we are entreating the public as a matter of urgency to inform the police about any suspicious movement of any person or group of persons in their communities to prevent crime. We assure the public of sustained operations to deal with any criminal activities in the jurisdiction. Thank you for your audience.
First of all, the Ghana immigration, don't they do thorough checkups? Don't they do thorough investigation on people entering the country for allowing them to enter the country? Like they'll just come, then they'll allow you to enter the country. Don't they do proper investigation, background check on people before allowing them into the country? So on the 21st, in Nigeria, it was announced that this woman and her daughter were missing on the 21st of this month. So it was announced that they were missing. On the 22nd, they were found, their bodies were found. They were unalived and their body mutilated. And according to them, it was for some herbal something. So they were kidnapped on the 21st, and then on the 22nd, their dead bodies and mutilated bodies were found. On the 23rd, on that same 22nd, this man, Victor, his poster started making out that he is the one that did that heinous thing. And then on the 23rd, it was announced that he was arrested in Ghana. So in the space of 5 days of this man kidnapping, unaliving, and deleting people, he crossed 2 borders and entered into Ghana. And the immigration people allowed this man to enter without doing any proper background check. So imagine the number of hardened Nigerian criminals in Ghana here. Just imagine the number of them. Because this one, it was one down. So imagine the number of hardened criminals that our immigration have allowed to enter into this country. And guess what he will continue to do in this country if he was not arrested? Our immigration agency, they are weak, and our president. That's what sometimes I like radical president like Putin and Kim Jong-un. Sometimes your head for be hard. You just be allowing everybody to enter into the country. So he has been arrested. As I said, imagine the number of hardened criminals in our country here. Just imagine. There are 4 million Nigerians in Ghana. Those 4 million Nigerians, can all of them do legit jobs in Ghana? Maybe we Ghanaians say we are crying for job. Can they do it? You'll be allowing everybody into the country. If you talk, they'll say they envy us, they hate us. God will punish everybody allowing these criminals into our country. That's a fact. God will punish them from one by one.
Due to the insecurity problem in Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians are actually moving out of the country as we speak. A video coming from some of their airports suggests that most of them are actually leaving the country for fear of their lives, and the fact that, in the northern part of the country, there's insurgents and acts of terrorism. Most of these people leaving the country are not actually leaving Nigeria to either the UK or the US, right? They are coming into other African countries, and from what we are hearing, most of them are coming into Ghana. Because of the English that we speak, it makes sense for them not to go to Cameroon, for them not to go to Benin, for them not to go to Togo, but for them to come straight into Ghana. Now, one thing that is actually helping them to actually come into Ghana and get infiltrated into the population is because of the Hausa language. Now, if you go to Nigeria, most of us focus on the Yoruba and the Igbos, right? But the predominant language or ethnic group in Nigeria is actually the Hausas. They form about 30 to 35% of the population, right? A breakdown will tell you that Yoruba has about 15.5% of the population. Igbos have about 15.2% of the population. They have the Fulani who form about 6% of the population. Now, the reason they could actually move into Ghana without us noticing is because of the Hausa language. In Ghana, Hausa is also, a language spoken here, right? And it is the same language that is spoken in Nigeria too. So when they are moving in here, most of them disguise themselves as Ghanaians because they could speak the Hausa language. So at the border or the immigration checkpoints, they speak this Hausa language and they move in. Most of the Nigerians, most of the Malians, most of the Guineans, a lot of them speak this Hausa language. So that is how come they're able to move into Ghana with ease. What is happening in Nigeria? Nobody wants to stay in the country any longer. And if they are moving out of the country, their default destination is Ghana, bro. The population of Ghana is just 35.3 million. The population of Nigeria is around 240 million people, right? So if 30% of 240 million people are actually houses, and these people are actually moving out of their country, even if all of them will not come into Ghana, most of them will come into Ghana, or a substantial number of them will come into Ghana, because Ghana looks like the most stable country in the entire sub-region. If you don't pay attention to this, it will get to a point in time where the Hausa population in Ghana will become massive, and when it becomes massive, that is where the problem starts. They start to claim ownership. They start to use this whole Islamic laws and order. They start to push for things to be done their way, and that is where it creates substantial problem. I'm not saying all houses are bad, but I'm just saying that if you pay attention to what is happening in Africa, and especially in our sub-region, the Hausa population are mostly Muslims, right? So when they become huge in your country, they start to push for their things to be done their way. We don't want that to happen in Ghana. In Nigeria, as we speak, there has been about 3 kidnappings in the northern part. The Kebi girls, you can't find them. See, we shouldn't be like, oh, Ghana, we are hospitable. We actually need to be on the lookout for these Hausa people who are disguising themselves as Ghanaians and send them back into Nigeria.
First of all, as I keep saying, if you're a Ghanaian, pray and commit yourself and your family into God's hands. It's that simple, because this government will not protect you. They are rather making it easier for these people to move here. Citizens have been telling the president tighten securities at the borders. The mind we. Prophets are prophesying, telling the president to close and tighten the borders. They mind them. And now guess what? He's discussing with Obasanjo on how Africans will move freely across. Look at what bandits they do in Nigeria. You are now discussing about how... look at this. John Mahama discussed the issue of free movement of people across Africa with Obasanjo. So all these things that is going on, you are rather discussing free movement. We are finished. Look at Nigeria. Look at all these people at the airport trying to move out. Look at them. Last time a guy made a video where they are being backed in buses. This one, they are at the airport. And where do you think majority of these people will go to? They are coming to Ghana. And if they come to Ghana here too, they will say they want to form a kingdom. What do you think all these people are going to? If you go to East Legon, all the Nigeria big men, Peter Obi, all of them, they have houses at East Legon here. All the Nigerian big men, all of them, they have houses at East Legon here. And now our president is discussing free movement across Africa. Ghana. Only God will protect us now, because Charlie, there's nothing I can say. Citizens say close the borders, they mind we. Prophets are saying close the borders, they mind them. He's not discussing free movement. And you think, Charlie, may God protect us in this country. That's all I can say.
Ghana and South Africa, please come and help me watch this. Watch this. Hey!
Nigerian youth, the intelligent Nigerian youth, the ever-confident Nigerian youths, the ever-productive Nigerian youth, the greatest of 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 the greatest.
For those of you who busted into laughter, I understand you people. I understand you people. But while I'm laughing, I have a measure of tears popping out of my eye because it's a disheartening thing. And I'll tell you why it's a disheartening thing now. First of all, these are people that will tell you, we never elected this person. We never voted this person. These are people that will tell you, the first thing they will tell you in a bid to exonerate themselves from what's happening in their society is, no, our voting system does not work. Right? I'm pretty sure Ghana, Nigerians have told you that. South Africans, Nigerians have told you that. Botswana, Kenyans, I'm pretty sure a great number of you have heard Nigerians say that in the US, in the UK. Have you seen the lies? Now, who are these youths? Shouting, hey, the moment you realize, the moment you say the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest, he didn't even finish, and there was an applause. There was a ruse. People were clapping and shouting and all. Who were those youths? Who were those people? Youths that said they did not vote for Tinubu. Why are you lying? I've always said this time after time. Tinubu is not the Nigerian problem. He was elected and he became the Nigerian president. If Nigerians never wanted him, they know what to do and he would not have been elected. Truth is that they wanted him. So let nobody come out here and start giving us the false impression, the euphoria and the irresponsible excuses that no, we did not vote this person. The Nigerian Electoral Commission had been rigged and had been compromised, blah, blah, blah. Compromised it. Whose mentality compromised it? I don't even want to talk about the mentality that gave rise to this uncanny and devious system. Let's look at the only evidence, one of the evidences we can point out here. Who are those youths? Let me shock you. Let me shock you. If these were Ghanaians, you would never hear any youth talk. I mean, even if you're forced to pay your tax, even if you're forced to do a number of things, I don't think anybody is forced to come for a meeting. I don't think anybody is forced to talk whilst in that meeting. I don't think anybody is forced to clap whilst in that meeting. I'm telling you the truth. This is not something they force you. Let me give an example. In my place of work, I work in a federal institution, a federal hospital. I have a CMD that does more of paparazzi. I have a CMD that does more of paparazzi, right? I have a CMD who practically does nothing. He does, let me put it this way, he does the list of things that someone that is working, the list of things that a proficient person should be doing. But then he finds the media department of the hospital to exaggerate those things, to always bring out those things, because this man likes paparazzis and all those things. No. And then this is something I don't like about him. I love people that work in silence. I mean, if you do something and it's working, you don't have to advertise it, because what you're doing, people know. It's a hospital, for crying out loud. If it's successful, if your activities are successful, if your equipment and all are there, people would go and tell other people, come, these things are working. It's not something you have to broadcast out there. I'm a very proficient person, and the things that I do are the things that a lot of people go to advertise on their own. And the next thing I hear someone call me, please, this person told me about you. This person told me about you. Please, can you help me do this? And I tell them, this is where I am, and you come and I'll help you do that. That's the way it is. I prefer people that work in silence, people that are very proficient. I prefer people that are very proficient and are not loud about it. People that present very simple, but their competencies and their efficiencies are very loud. Their competencies are very loud. So then, when in most cases, this particular CMD calls out for a number of things, and people, of course, the hospital is made up of a huge number of psychopaths. They will pop out and start yelling him, oh, our body this, our educational this, blah, 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 this, and all those things. You see those meetings? I don't honor it. You can force me to do a number of things, but you can't force me to honor meetings. You can't force me to praise you. You can't force me to shout when you're making your remarks. You can't force me to applaud you when you're making your remarks. So they know, these sets of managerial bodies know, when it comes to me, that I don't applaud them. And in most cases, silence speaks a whole lot more than those psychopaths. They don't respect those psychopaths. But us, who mention our silence, they know through our faces, through our body language and our facial expression, what they really do. They know what they really do. So they tend to fear and respect us much more than all those people that stood their horns and sing their praises in psychopathy and pretense. If this was a Ghanaian situation, if this was in South Africa or Ghana or Botswana, you will never hear anybody's voice there. If he likes, let him say, great Nigerian, great. And if he likes, let him straighten his voice. No Ghanaian, if Tinubu was in Ghana with this attitude, with what he's been doing, no Ghanaian will respond to him. No South African will respond to him as a youth. No. That's why I love these people. That's why I love Botswana. But Nigerians, psychopaths.
Well, it is very simple. Okay, the thing is, you have some Ghanaians who are supporting what some of these Nigerians are doing in Ghana. They fear to call it out. They don't want to call it out. Okay, and this is the reason why it has given some of these Nigerians online the infantry to speak and defend, and also ask, what about you committing crime in Ghana? And like he rightly said, those of you who haven't seen the video, you can go back and watch it. Some 57 Nigerians were arrested yesterday, and other 4 people who were involved in trafficking these people to Ghana to go and commit fraud. And he is a Nigerian, and I think he's addressing it. And it's rather unfortunate that he, as a Nigerian being in Ghana, is the one addressing and calling it out. But I call that accountability, which is what I think almost everyone have to have. Black people in general fear accountability. Now, this is the case where you have Ghanaians who support the wrong of some Nigerians in Ghana. You understand? I'm using some because he's a Nigerian and he's speaking up. He's holding his own people accountable. That is what a lot of us have to learn what to do. So when they see other Ghanaians supporting them on social media, they become, powerful. And also some other Africans also support them, and they don't call them out. Now, some of these Ghanaians, I'm going to categorize them. The Ghanaians who support these people, one of them are some of the Ghanaians who are actually really poor and are actually looking for something to survive on. So they kiss ass. Now you have other Ghanaians also who have businesses, which is patronized by Nigerians, including those who have churches, which is patronized by Nigerians. So they dare and they fear not to talk about it. But it is almost these people who call themselves or who pride themselves to be patriotic to the country. But if you look into it, this is not a matter of being patriotic. This is a matter of being selfish. This is a matter of showing your own interest. Like you saw Reggie Rackstone came and spoke against it. Of course, he has businesses and who are patronizing it. I'm not even mad at it. But to speak on an issue that is going on in the country, which is a threat, and you turn a blind eye just because of what you are going to gain, or just because of the food. And also, some of the people over here are scared to speak about it just because Nigerians are going to unfollow and are not going to support their videos or the content. Already I've had a lot of them who have unfollowed me, which I like it like that, because I will forever speak the truth. And maybe I'm going to get tons of people to also unfollow me for doing this. I will keep talking till my followers get to 0. Then I'll realize that, oh, okay, so actually Africans don't like the truth and don't like to be called out. But I like the fact that this brother is really talking about, and that is what we want to see more Nigerians do, to actually change the narrative. Because these ones who are in Ghana, it is funny to the point that when we bring these things out here and we are talking about it, some of you just start defending. You are even defending people you do not know just because they carry Nigeria, but you are not even united in your own country. So basically speaking, I blame Africa, I blame some Ghanaians, I blame other people in the diaspora who straight and bluntly support these people without calling them out. If they don't start calling people like that up and use Pan-African, oh, we are all one Africa, oh, we are all one this, oh, one this is not going to stop. Okay? So yeah, a word to a wise is enough. I just wanted to put in my 2 cents.
I always get this question from my Ghanaian people. They are like, Delicious Army, why is it that when a Nigerian perpetrates crime, wants to escape judgment, they run to Ghana? Why does that happen all the time? And there's a very simple, bitter answer. The answer is simple, but it is very bitter. And that is, Ghana immigration is weak. That is why. Yes. When you're going into Ghana, so many background checks are not done. And with some rubbing of hands, you can, boycott the whole system. This is why this happens. Because I want to ask you a question. This man now that ran to Ghana after buying somebody in Nigeria, why didn't he consider countries like the US? Why? Why didn't he consider countries like Canada or even nearby African countries? Why? It is because Ghana immigration system is weak. That is why. I don't know, I've noticed it for a while that there's this set of Nigerians that go to Ghana. There's this particular set of Nigerians that go to Ghana, and they are usually the wrong representation of Nigerians in general. And that is why you hear so many Nigerians say, I came to Nigeria, but I was surprised to see a different set of Nigerians compared to the one I usually see in Ghana. I don't want to say the set of Nigerians that go to Ghana are the ones that, you guys will drag me if I say this thing. They are the ones that, will I say, let me not say it. You guys, you will not understand what I want to say, but the set of Nigerians that go to Ghana, let me just put it this way, they have K, they have K, that's just what I want to say. Yes, they have K, and that is why so many Ghanaians have a misrepresentation of Nigerians. Yes, I've heard so many Nigerians say, I have met Nigerians in the US, in Canada, and in UK, and I meet Nigerians in Ghana, and I'm like, and these people know Nigerians, but there's a difference. Yes, that is because the set that go to Ghana, they have K. Let me just put it that way. If you know, you know. But seriously, the Ghanaian immigration need to beef up. They need to do better. People like this should not be allowed to enter into the country. Before, I used to be somebody that would come here and say, oh, we have Nigerians in Ghana. Oh, we have this in Ghana. Oh, we have that in Ghana. We have Ghanaians in Nigeria too. If you ask Nigerians to go, see, my mindset about things like that have completely changed. Because it is high time Ghana protect the borders. How can you allow people like this, wanted people, into your system? How? If somebody like this is allowed into Ghana, or he wasn't caught by the law, the same thing that he did in Nigeria is the same thing he would do in Ghana. Tomorrow they'll come and say it is Nigerians that are doing one or two things in Ghana, because it is always the wrong people that find themselves in Ghana. It's always the wrong people. Why should a wanted criminal be allowed in a civilized country like Ghana? Why? That is the question Ghanaians should be asking. I think Ghanaians have put so much pressure on the police. It is time for them to put more pressure on the immigration to do better. Because I saw one news, the Ghana president is signing border free with Nigeria. And I just laughed. Nigeria that Trump just declared state or a country of particular concern is the people you are announcing border free with them. Ghanaians, I pray you don't let the hard way. What I'll just say is protect your borders. If you watch my videos, you will agree with me that I'm one person that's always, try to speak for both Nigerians and Ghanaians. I always say, please, let's welcome Nigerians into our country. Let's welcome Ghanaians into our country. Do not commit crimes. I'm no longer like that again. Everybody should protect their borders. With what is going on in Nigeria now, I will not advocate that for Ghana. And me know what I don't use my eyes see these few days in this country. Ghana, protect your borders. I said mine. Lovelies, that's all I have for you in this video. Kindly like the video. Kindly subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye.